time, guys. Into the hype chamber.
Onto
the pitch.
Come on.
Moist versus Elevate. Can Elevate continue to climb the mountain? Or will Moist just absolutely soak them? Let's find out. Let's get into it.
And of course, game one is going to be just as important for Elevate, if not more than Moist. I think getting off on the right foot, or at least showing what you're capable of here. You don't have to necessarily take a dub. You can take a couple of games to get into it. I don't necessarily think Elevate have to win game one, Jorby, but a blowout here would absolutely demoralize this team.
For Elevate, I think where you got to look for this team, you want to be looking at Virtuoso and look at his boost total throughout the series. When Virtuoso, when they're feeling good, he's usually in the front of the rotation. He's picking demos. Really, he's been getting, in the series against G1 yesterday, he even got a little mechanical. But as soon as you start seeing it like below 50 and continually below 50, it means they're not catching up to things. They're losing challenges. And already it started. Cash gets the first goal.
And it's actually not on the Dominus. He lied to you.
He did lie to me.
He's on the Octane.
I don't.
You know what? It's better than the Fennec. I'll take the Octane over the Fennec. Virtuoso could have gotten a save too. I don't really know what happened there. Did you see that?
I don't know who Cash is anymore.
Wait,
I don't think I've ever seen Cash in an Octane. This is not, my eyes can't compute what's happening on the monitor.
You know, don't be negative. Maybe this is
I'm not being negative. I'm just saying I don't recognize him.
I mean, it sounded a little bit negative. You could hear the sass. I'm sure Twitch Head agrees with me. You sounded a little bit sassy.
Well, he told me he was going to be in a Dominus.
Well, he doesn't have to say the truth to you.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you feel entitled to the truth from Cash anyway? Let this man cook, Jordan.
Wait, are you saying Cash is entitled to lie to me?
Yes.
I guess.
Everybody technically is, right? It's just Jorby. I'm not going to tell you my strats going into RLCS.
Well, look, this isn't philosophy with Jorby and Turtle. It's Elevate versus Moist. Realized trying to go for the double. Realized scoring a hat trick against G1 yesterday. He scored a bunch more goals as well. Kami typically ends up being the striker for this team. Or really, when you talk to Elevate, that's what they want to do. As he breaks it out in front, making him shuffle step, getting it around Joy.
He's just so clutch if you're talking about Kami. He sits back a little bit more, and you'll let Realize and Virtuoso put in the work, put in the damage. There's a demo from Virtuoso. It's going to be classic for him to continue to be physical. And that, I think, is the big key to opening up a lot of chances. Here he goes again, Virtuoso headhunting on the third man. Cash dodges him, gets a nice little clear forward. And it's going to be business as usual on this transition for Moist Esports, 2v1. A demo opportunity, and it's just a musty flick that sends it in.
Yep, nice job here from Joyo, but also downfield from Cash. See him just get in the way. Virtuoso, he gets pushed off to the side a little bit, and nothing he can do about it. Honestly, Moist, the MO for them, as they've already started here in the first 2 minutes, Turtle, is force Elevate to beat you. You don't have to push too hard on the pedal here. You know, let Elevate come at you and see if they can beat you and react. Moist have a lot of talent on this side of the pitch, already 2-0. Elevate, I liked a couple of looks that they had. I don't think it's, you know, I don't want to oversell a lopsided matchup here. There's a way in for Elevate, but right now Moist locking it down.
And there is a way in, like I was talking about with those demo plays. If we look back to the Twisted Minds series where they were able to take down Moist 4-2, Twisted Minds nearly doubled the demos against Moist, averaging about, I believe it was 4 demos per game as a team. Virtuoso averages 3.5 demos himself. So with that physical gameplay, it could create some opportunities, but so far they've gotten nothing to show for it. And the transitions have been so fruitful out of Moist.
Such an aggressive rotation from Elevate. Moist weren't able to find the center of the field. They got back on defense, but another bump. You saw up early was Juicy, and a little bit of misdirection from Moist. Trying to ward off Elevate's first defender, maybe force him to give up the ball. Elevate are struggling to get onto the ball right now as Moist are just rocking back and forth to the corner. An opening for Juicy, too light. Virtuoso easily saved.
Take a look at the boost corners. Everything getting nabbed by Moist Esports. They're starving out Elevate, and it feels like it's just a matter of time before one shot will break through the armor of this orange squad. Into the corner, and off the top of the dome, a slower approach now for Elevate as they've gotten a clear, but it's not enough, Jorby.
And Joyo up to the sky, off the ceiling, and he missed.
It looked pretty, though.
That was nice.
It was, oh
my goodness.
Okay, Virtuoso. The first goal actually boinked off of his head.
Whoa.
And then I guess the top of his car has not been the best area to go for. If I was him, I'd try and avoid it as much as possible. But 1:10 on the clock, they've got to make a move. Otherwise, you're looking at a first game loss for Elevate.
Oh, Juicy. Just going to stay flat. Now, Moist. They're just going back and forth here on the orange third. Cash coming in as well. What a pass! My God! That's some nasty work from Cash.
All right, it's official. Cash on the Octane is goated. This man, just let him stay on that car. He doesn't even need a Dominus if he's hitting passes like that.
Look, it doesn't matter. The form factor of the cannon doesn't matter. The velocity is always the same.
I mean, it kind of matters. I didn't like him on the Fennec. I'm not gonna lie.
Apparently, Octane's a better cannon.
There it is. There it is.
But nothing matches the Dom for me. I can't get over it.
See, you can't get over it because the Dominus is all rare. I'm already over it. Look, I'm vibing with Cash's preset as well. This could be an opportunity. Elevate. One for the road. Or an insane comeback with 35 seconds remaining. It's a good look for them.
Realize coming back down with Juicy right on top of it. And this is something that is a little different than they were seeing from G1. Moist, one of the better teams at controlling the ball. Moving around, we've seen that to great effect in the first 5 minutes of this match. Let's see if Realize can get, like you said, something for the road. No. Some good looks in the first minute for Elevate. Yeah. But overall, totally owned by Moist. That's a good shot. Love that one. Realize thinks it.
And this is creating opportunities. You're not waiting for a punishing moment. If you're Elevate, you're making it yourself with a pass across. Kami seeks out Realize in the midfield, and it's a slot into the upper left-hand corner. Nobody for Moist, and that is truly a glimpse at what Elevate are capable of, and they do it at least one time in the first game.
If they can get some space and control the ball on defense, they might be able to create some more opportunities. But about 2 minutes of that game, it was just one corner to the opposite corner, and Elevate diving towards the ball. They were getting completely boost-starved. And that's the problem that you usually see with Elevate in international matches, is that, you know, they know where to position. They position in the right places. They get to the right spots, but then they lose one challenge, and it precipitates after that. They lose their boost, and they just don't have that next level, that next gear to be able to take control. But they do have moments. Let's see how they adjust here for game 2.
And that first goal was just rough for Elevate. I talked about getting off on a solid start, and to have it go off of your goalkeeper, Virtuoso, not able to control it, and then things just followed through. A nasty pass from pass from Cash.
Hey, shout out Pashy.
Shout out Pashy. We're in Germany. I mean, it's kind of bleeding into my speech here, but the first game.
Something about the greater consciousness of the universe.
Yeah.
Peered into your brain and was.
I'm hearing the German language all around. I just think of Pashy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Realize getting one goal for Elevate. There's a way in.
There is. I mean, they showed it with that pass across to Kami. They've got. How many times are we gonna say this? They've got the pieces for them. They've got what it takes, but.
Well, I think that's the thing. Is just like it's a measure of ability, right?
Yeah.
Joyo's one of the best players in the world. Period.
Yeah.
Cash, when he's on, one of the best players in the world, and it's so hard to deal with that for most teams.
Yeah.
Like regardless of Elevate in APAC, who have struggled to get match wins. But like we said before, you know, they took a game off of Elevate. They absolutely can get it done. They just got to start with the right rhythm. If they can catch Moist, force Moist to respect them in the midfield, then they can get something done. Like this now, off the board, but just taken away by Juicy. Another touch around. Does he get 2? Realize a pass to nobody. Everyone protecting the midfield line.
Virtuoso, a 180 from game 1, not making a mistake on defense, but trying to open up an opportunity. That's what you want to see if you're a fan of Elevate. And if you watched that series yesterday, G1 up against Elevate, there was a lot of backboard read whiffs.
Wow.
And speaking of backboard plays, nobody's there that can drop down to get this save. Joyo, nice 50-50, patiently waiting behind it, and it bounces in.
Virtuoso expecting Realize to get at least a neutral 50 on that ball, but it's Joyo, who's so good in those exact scenarios. The ball slowed down, he can easily get the reset, he can freeze it for as long as he wants to. He knew Realize was up, and he knew he had all the momentum. He still had his flip, so he's got all of it. Goes underneath him, Virtuoso, it's not his fault. He gets caught out. Realize has to make the 50.
That's a quality first goal out of Moist Esports. Their mechanics flowing like water in game 2. I was.
Whoa.
I wasn't doubting the mechanics coming into this series, but I was wondering what level we'd get out of Moist Esports, and they are in tip-top shape, Jorby.
A tip back out to midfield, and Joyo, saved, realized, right in position.
I like that touch, too. Just keeping the ball in Elevate's half, wanting to starve out as much as you can. And a big thing about avoiding this starvation, Jorby, for Elevate is having quick clears, getting this ball out of your own half. The longer it stays there, the easier and longer Moist have to take your boost. They've got extra time, a lot to follow up, but some good shots as they have found a transition.
A little bit of pressure here. Kami getting the bump, realized coming in, and Cash stuffed the ball. Juicy jumped as well. Nice fake from Virtuoso. And a standstill. Who's going to go?
What?
Virtuoso
he got the boost.
Off, and Cash will get out.
But he got the boost, and there's the revenge. He might have gotten rid of the possession of Elevate, but with the boost, certainly he can get back in time and delete you from the pitch off the backboard and right into the hands of Kami, who wants to fire it off the backboard. Still, again, can't find anything of value. It goes in the midfield, but nobody's waiting.
You saw Realize was playing. Wait a minute. Realize takes a shot. To commit again. Virtuoso going to steal the boost. Oh, he gets popped off the ball. And now Juicy gets control of it. Kami forced to wait. But that was good. He had the setup.
He had the setup. But how many times have we seen that from Elevate where there is a setup and nobody to follow up? Joyo was there to follow that pass across. It was on target and a well-timed save. Still handling and dealing with this pressure is Elevate.
Realize gets the first touch, lands on the backboard. He had to follow it up. That ball was surely going in. Pinches it out back to the corner. Now Virtuoso coming across. The pitch headed towards the net, and the rotation comes in clean. Take notes if you're watching at home. Back off the board. Virtuoso not going to get the grab. Boost steal from Joyo. Coming across. He beats Kami to the ball, but Realize gets a little bit of time to think about it. Cash just staying there forces Realize to give up the ball. Juicy another touch out. And Moist, a little bit more pressure, Turtle.
And that was a great job from Virtuoso, taking the midfield boost, turning around, deleting a player from Moist, and that'll lessen the attack, at least for a little bit, put a Band-Aid over the wound. I don't know how long it's gonna last because the boost keeps getting robbed. You're holding on to a lot of pressure. If you get a counterattack, there's nobody even there to receive the clear. Eventually, things should fall for Elevate unless they can stabilize.
This is what you want. You want Realize there, Virtuoso on the wing. Last time you had Realized the second man spot, a very passive position on offense, playing the loss on the 50. Remember that pass that came out from Kami, nobody there. And it's because Realize was playing the loss on the angle. You'd like to see them maybe position a bit more aggressively. Maybe that means Virtuoso has to be the one in that second man spot. Well, here he goes now. He's on the ball, but it gets too far away from him. And Cash is going to make Realize wait. Can't wait too long. Joyo's waiting. Saved again. Elevate running out of time.
That's just such a difficult task for Elevate to get aggressive. The more they push up, the more susceptible they are to these counterattacks. Moist Esports can do it all, like we said before, but they've only scored one goal. Big difference from the first game, and Elevate are certainly in it.
Moments for Elevate. They only need one moment to tie this game up. Realize back to Virtuoso. Someone's got to go. Virtuoso says Realize, sure. But Juicy cuts him off.
Double
Cash
tap.
in the air.
He
Doesn't
missed.
get the double.
Here's the
Virtuoso
chance.
with a break. Juicy takes it away. Can they get the clear? It's got to be in the air. Kami, that's a good delay. Can he land? Realize says, wait. I don't think that's how you're supposed to play that one.
Don't get upset about that. Okay?
No, I'm not upset.
It was a moment of panic from Elevate. And it looked like they had it. It looked like there was a chance. You even saw as the final 10 seconds were falling, it looked like Moist Esports had double committed on the backboard, looking for that double tag. I believe it was Cash trying to get a double hit. Yeah, both of them up in the air, which leaves only one third man, Juicy alone. Just unfortunately for Elevate, couldn't connect any string of passes together just to get down the other side and try to punish because of the stoicism from Juicy in those final moments to get that 50-50.
And that last moment, Realize definitely thought Kami wasn't going to get back to that touch. He had a little trouble, or it looked like a little trouble recovering, even though he ended up making it happen. So this is kind of what we were talking about after game one, is that those moments that Elevate had that can build on those. They have some good ideas when they get beyond the midfield line, but then they're so passive on offense. It's almost like they don't believe that they can score.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of they got Moist to double commit a couple of times, and there was two passes in front of the box that was open, and had the rotation been approached a little differently, they might have had more shot off.
It just comes down to balance right now. We've seen the extremes on both sides. In game one, I thought they were actually too aggressive and trying too hard to force those chances. Then in game two, they come out and they say, hey, okay, we need to head back a little bit and space ourselves out as that third man and cover the net a little bit better, but they ended up being too passive. So now in game three, can Elevate find the middle ground and mix things up, incorporate both styles, and know how and when to go for those counterattacks and where that third man to position, but already kicking off where we left off. Moist Esports, nice form of pressure. Looking for a flip reset, another double commit, and we'll see if Elevate can punish.
Virtuoso turning upfield with no boost. Realize on the reset, but it's off the bar. That's as much space as Elevate have had so far. And Juicy just bodies one out of the way. A little flip, a little slip from Joyo, but denied by Realize.
This player has been popping off. You see the mechanics from Realize. This is why they were able to take that G1 win. He's got what it takes. This comes down to the execution. It was off the crossbar. Virtuoso, he's not getting demos this time. He's behind the ball looking for a dribble as it's stuffed by Cash.
Oh, good avoid on the bump. But Joyo's not letting up and Realize he's got the last laugh. Virtuoso.
Pitch.
Whoa. Has to get there. Yeah, Kami, I thought he might have just given up the ball to Juicy, but it had enough momentum. Kami sets it up. Joyo was there to take it back downfield.
This feels like the game for Elevate to swing back, get a game themselves, fight against Moist Esports. You don't want to let them get on match point already. Otherwise, you're looking at a best-of-7 reverse sweep, and things are heading that way.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Kami cut rotation to try to get the 50, but Juicy forced it back out. Then Joyo realized has to find that read. He's expecting Joyo to touch that ball, but Joyo lets it fly off the corner, open net.
Go ahead and pay attention to this kickoff. An immediate response would be lovely for Elevate, who just are coming up slightly short. I think that beginning couple of attempts, we saw the flip reset out of Realize, just not enough. Barely off the mark.
Okay.
And this could be something special. We're going for a bump play, but there's two players already back, and that is the efficient defense on full display for Moist.
Well, that's why Virtuoso just turned off ball cam and went downfield. That's 3 times now. Realize gets control of the ball. Virtuoso just goes downfield, tries to create a little bit of space. But I do like what I'm seeing from Elevate when they are on defense. They're trying to slow it down. They're trying to get those stutter steps to win that 50. And it is working. They are breaking out. They're putting shots on net, and they're scoring some goals. Realize gets his second.
Realize off the pass from Virtuoso to the corner, and I think Cash expected a double tap from Virtuoso, who wanted to follow it through, couldn't get the touch, and it bounced perfectly out to Realize, who's been on his mark with that shooting.
Now Realize getting better and better as the match is going. But Juicy in front of it. Just gonna go out wide for Joyo with space. Here he goes, Joyo. No chance at it. Realize in net, hard clear. Good touch from Juicy to protect the rock.
That's a huge moment for Elevate, able to deny a mechanical attempt. That was a double tap, certainly on target. And just seeing them hold strong on defense means this game absolutely winnable from Elevate. And they've kept it close, Jorby.
Juicy is numbers been called more and more on defense in that third man role. Cash just letting Elevate run over him, let Joyo come in. Now a demo, a pass, but whoa, cut off big time. Where is Kami? Kami picked up that demo, and Virtuoso just dumped it back to Moist, who get the goal.
And you just got to have better control. If everybody pushes forward, it's on you to try and keep the ball to yourself. We're wondering where the rotations came through, what happened between Kami and Realize, and why it wasn't communicated to Virtuoso to keep possession and waste some time.
Virtuoso expecting Realize to be tight in that rotation, but he was still coming around the corner back towards midfield.
Painful stuff out of Elevate. They were able to tie things, but not for long. Moist Esports just a step ahead, it feels like, every moment of the way.
Cash. Oh, gets the bump on Virtuoso. Gives him a taste of his own medicine, and now Joyo gets a free space, a free pass, and Juicy nails it.
And what more do you want out of Moist Esports? Joyo to the ceiling, saves his flip, and it's also a pre-flip into the shot from Juicy. The speed is there, the mechanics are there, the vision from the two teammates who know how to do it best on this pitch. And it just doesn't look like there's any stopping that.
Now, if you're a Moist fan at home watching, and you're feeling nervy, you're like, surely we won't be Team 2 to go down to Elevate. Well, Joyo, Cash, and Juicy.
Oh my God, okay.
They're making you feel comfortable right now.
That was just unfair. Joyo's falling from the ceiling, and somehow they were able to get that pass back into him and find his trajectory, and that angle would have been ridiculous out of Joyo. They're just getting more and more mechy.
He tried that shot the other game, the exact same spot, the exact same angle, and the same player saved it. Joyo, nice catch.
Ooh.
Just no way in for Virtuoso, just trying to delay the attempted clear out. But Moist, they've withstood some of the Elevate chances, and now Juicy has blown through the entire Elevate line. Kami getting back just in time. Nothing's opening here for Elevate. Another big clear. And Juicy has just been rock solid.
Yeah.
He's been problem numero uno when it comes to getting on the blue half of the pitch. And then you just got to deal with Joyo and Cash, who will not relent whenever they get the ball in mid.
It does feel like Juicy has been that third man, laying back, being a little bit more passive, and letting Cash and Joyo just throw everything they've got in the tank at Elevate. Every mechanic, every creative idea, they're going to go for it, and Juicy will be able to hold it down. I mean, even think about the last game where there was a chance for Elevate to counterattack, and Juicy held things down rock solid on the defense. You want that if you're Cash and Joyo. 8 seconds to go. Elevate tied it up for a little bit, and now they're going to get their second goal. 4 seconds remaining. It's not enough.
They will get this one because Juicy had pre-jumped the attempted pass from Joyo. They did not get it. He ran out of boost. Virtuoso will take that one. And Moist, all but assured, just have the series locked down right now. Do Elevate call a timeout? They didn't call one after game 2. Do they try to settle things down, or do they just let this one play out as we head into game number 4?
And that definitely is the question. Got one timeout. Do you think there's any extinguishing of Moist that you could do? Try to cool them off with those mechanics. As we do see fist bumps all around, good vibes on the blue side. Elevate facing a massive obstacle, and you know, we've got a historic series yesterday, Jorby. I want to see the reverse sweep best of 7. Can you imagine how ridiculous that would be?
On land, yeah.
On land.
That would be crazy.
Against Moist.
And it being Elevate.
Oh, it would be beautiful.
That is a universe that the quantum probability spectrum is, I think, the pretty low percentage.
Don't always talk about quantum probability spectrums when the Mobile 1 high performance replay comes up, because I'm just trying to watch the highlight reel.
I'm watching spherical objects
go
into a trapezoidal prism, and I'm watching data being ripped apart as the net explodes. You know?
As the net gets torn apart. And we do get a timeout from Elevate, as they are going to take an extra 60 seconds to just figure out what it is about their strategy, their approach that's not working. It's been awkward moments. I keep thinking back to in that game, we saw Realize and Kami both commit, extend too far forward, get too aggressive, Jorby, and Virtuoso hadn't known to keep the ball to himself. It's little moments like that where you're giving away freebies to the other team. That just simply can't happen. That's step 1 to cover up.
Well, when you're outmatched like this, just to hammer your point home, I mean, you have to play mistake-free Rocket League.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's just the first step. Like, mistake-free Rocket League wouldn't even win them the series.
Right, you still
might not even win the
pressure.
game. You've then got to build on that with the pressure. It's like what? Oh, Joyo.
Sorry.
Did we offend
you were talking to Joyo's just staring. He's like,
are you serious? The timeout? Juicy. Okay.
Okay.
Is Cash staring?
There it is. Let's go. Dude, Cash, that's a bit of a scary stare there.
Dude, he is not impressed.
He is not. That is the I am not impressed with you. He's you know what that is? That's we do not care. That's Cash right there.
That's me every time you speak, Jorby.
No, that's not true.
I love the vibes from Moist. I almost said from Juicy. You know, Moist, Juicy. It's kind of a guarantee that they had to pick him up, given the names.
I do think that it is funny how thematic
Right.
that is. Yeah.
Right.
Or you said, could they extinguish Moist? And I did want to tell you that it's kind of hard to
kind of
extinguish
impossible.
something that is not on fire.
Okay, maybe they can't extinguish them. They just pick up.
Maybe they dry them out.
Yeah. They grab the flamethroers.
Okay.
And they dry out Moist. This
Okay.
is their chance to get back into it.
Unfortunately, water is super effective against fire, so I don't know if that's going to work out.
Well,
Then again, we don't know what liquid
it's a good thing we're
Moist is.
playing Rocket League right now.
Actually, you know, any Moist fans out there want to elucidate both me and Turtle. You know,
Okay.
what liquid is Moist Esports? I'm curious. Use the hashtag RLCS on Twitter.
What a question.
Elevate, trying to get their first game win in the series. But here's Joyo back to Cash.
Ooh.
Realize just getting there in time, and Elevate making it, or actually Moist making it interesting here. Realize, jumping the read. Oh, and Kami was expecting a harder ball out towards the box, but it bounced out.
Trying to get quick counterattacks in succession for Elevate. You got one demo. Should make the pressure easier to deal with if you can get in front of it. And Kami does find Realize in his own end. Virtuoso, quick turn, but that ball sniffed out by Juicy.
Virtuoso steadying the pace here, but that's been the issue, is that they just can't hold on to those 50s, get into a scoreable position. Virtuoso does take out one player, but again, you gotta start winning those balls in midfield. Here he goes again, up high. Virtuoso trying to start a possession here for Elevate. Realize getting there quickly. Kami's next up, but then they lose the 50 again.
Yep.
The net's wide open. Virtuoso comes across the pass. The stutter step again. Moist change it up, and Joyo puts it in.
You think Cash is going to nail it home, but he just goes for a nice little whifty and slots it to the right side for Joyo. Lets it roll back. Moist Esports, even when they miss, they're not missing.
Yeah. I mean, poor Virtuoso. You gotta respect Cash on that touch. Like, of course he'd whiff there. Ooh, nice from Kami. Nice short touch. But yeah, Virtuoso a little too heavy.
He just came through on that rotation. Full boost, full speed, it felt like. Not the best touch. And those are the moments that we look back to, Jorby. I mean, if you're Elevate, you're going to come back here, you're going to watch replays. Those little things, those mistakes, those errors are where things have to get picked up. It's near perfect Rocket League that you have to compete with.
Comes across again, Virtuoso, letting it ride. Doesn't have a lot of boost to work with here. Joyo just steals the ball away. Realize helping out Kami, picking up that demo downfield. Again, Virtuoso, if you're gonna punch the ball downfield, Juicy has pretty much prevented you from getting those quick clears. You better go and bump him if you're gonna dump it. Virtuoso again, a little over 60 as he left for this ball. Really just a dump to the corner. Elevate, try to rotate. The pop up for Joyo. He avoids the bump, and Juicy gets downfield.
And maybe if Virtuoso is going to go for these demos as much as he has been, he could start to target one player specifically. I think if there's a guy you want to rattle on the field, Jorby, it's going to be Juicy. Make him uncomfortable. If you're headhunting, take him out. And that's actually going to be a demo on Juicy. See if this works out and leads to something for Elevate.
For Moist, this has to feel a little revitalizing after the series yesterday against Twisted Minds. Did not go the way they wanted it to. They knew that they could play a little bit better, but Virtuoso with a nice little reset goal. Hey, Elevate aren't done yet.
And he might have not gotten the first opportunity, but the second one comes through and he puts it away. 1:45 on the clock. Elevate have lasted this long and now tied things up.
That was brilliance from Kami. Gets underneath that. Thinks, okay, backflip. Create negative space, give Virtuoso a chance at it. And Virtuoso following him closely, just in the perfect spot. But that setup from Kami is awesome.
And Virtuoso also hesitated coming through. I think he jumped a little early, then backflip to let Kami get the flick up, set up a better opportunity. Good patience, and way to hit the brakes. All tied up. This could be Elevate's chance to get into the series.
Falling down onto the ball, Virtuoso just losing. Joyo sitting there waiting for it. Realize, quick out to the side, cut off by Juicy. Elevate again, in a rhythm of a song that they do not like hearing. They'd like to change the track, but every time they get to pull that record off, it somehow is just glued to the track and they can't find a way to get it out. Virtuoso,
there's another pitch.
Just getting to the third to get that challenge.
And it's building confidence right now for the Elevate defense. The fact that they're able to get in front of these shots. And as I say that, it passes 2 players. Even the reaction from Kami, he can't believe how this slipped through the defense.
Oh, Virtuoso, he's lining it up. It's not a bad position, and he just can't get there. What, the high ball, tried to find it. Kami saw that it was over Virtuoso's head. He couldn't get there, and Moist just seal it with a well-placed shot.
You do feel for Kami in that situation. Maybe he anticipated a touch from Virtuoso, who had jumped a little bit too early. And in that situation, he didn't have to jump at all. That could have been a confusing play, especially with the position of his teammate. But they will have to reset and move on. 30 seconds to go, or else they're moving back down and taking another loss.
Oh, nice slowdown from Realize to try to get that 50. It doesn't matter though. Juicy makes up for it and completely stops what would have been a decent Elevate try. Now they get a demo to get to the corner, but you gotta get back to the ball. And Cash is gonna make that one difficult for you. Carries it, pops over one.
He's gonna get the demo too.
And Cash the cannon fires!
Cash refreshed on the Octane. Virtuoso turned early, Cash pops it over, and Realize gets absolutely sucker punched out of the way.
That is it's too much. It's too much for Elevate.
It's unfair. You shouldn't.
That's the thing is even when you are playing well and you force Moist to do a little bit more, it gets a little bit harder. And Cash, he's had a couple of sick plays. He had that pass in game 1 off the corner, and then that play right there, the solo effort. Elevate will drop to Moist. Moist will move to a 2-1 record and only need one more series to qualify for the main event. Elevate one away from being eliminated.
That's what you love to see out of Moist, the talent coming out with the solo plays. And we got a little taste of everything from Moist. It wasn't just them throwing one player forward. They respected Elevate, obviously, and had to implement passes across. Had to rely sometimes on a single third man. It was not an easy series win. They did have a 4-0, but I don't think that represents Elevate, as they kept it close and were fighting. In every single game, you could see the chances that were generated, but like we talked about earlier, Jorby, just need to pick things up a little bit more here on the defensive side with those rotations and simple little errors that they can look back on and fix.
Elevate will have a little bit of thinking to do heading into tomorrow, where their tournament life is on the line, where their qualification is on the line. But Moist in position now with a little breathing room heading into day 4 of Wildcard. That's the exact form that you wanted to see from this team if you believe that they're a main event team. Coming up next, we got more matches, more Wildcard. Get up, take a break, get a snack, but come back real quick because we won't be gone for long.